So I think Jimmy is only in listen mode today.
Oh, really? All right. Tim, you've got to open us up. I don't know Jim's spiel. I've heard it 1,000 times. But
you're going to get to hear. You're going to get to hear my spiel.
Yeah.
So welcome to agents, investors, and amazing people worldwide. Today is the 13th of October, and this is All the Leads podcast number 399. Next week will be number 400, which will be a milestone for us. And we've got some interesting things that we're going to do for that. And we'll be looking forward to that. We appreciate you guys being here. Good crowd early, and we're excited about all of that. Eric, do you or Zeke want to talk about what we're doing online and let everybody know how to deal with what we're dealing with there?
I think Zeke is probably better prepared for me right now.
certainly sounds that way.
Jim, come back.
Hey, Zeke.
Yeah, I am not prepared for this. You can check us out, check out our live stream on our Facebook page or group. You could also check us out on YouTube/All the Leads, and that'll also get you to the stream. Or you can join our Zoom at www.alltheleads.com/live, and that'll get you into the Zoom.
Perfect. And we'll be monitoring all of those during the call to monitor any questions you may have that you want to put in via text or anything else. If you're here on Zoom and you'd like to raise your hand, we'll assume that you know how to do that. And you raise your hand and we'll be happy to call on you and talk about all the good things you want to do. We're here to help you. We'll do anything that you would like to do. If you've got a particularly tough issue you want to talk about, we'll be happy to do that. We'd love to hear about your successes. Those are things we love to hear better than anything else. We love to hear about how well you're doing. And this is your call. We're here to help you. We don't usually come with a big planned agenda and a bunch of other stuff. We're typically here to help you. So that's the one thing I would say. The other thing I'd say is please don't wait till the very end, because typically we have a traffic jam at the end, and we want to try to spread this out to everybody and all that sort of stuff. So with that, I will open it up to my cohorts here to start with. Bruce, what have you got to say for yourself today?
Oh, the only thing that I have to say is, guys, if you are watching on a live stream and you have questions or you have a win or an example or something like that, chat it in on the live stream. We are monitoring that, and we'll get to those questions and comments on live stream as well. That's all I have. I will turn it over to Chuck for the opener, and then we'll get to questions and wins.
Okay. Thank you, Bruce. Can you hear me okay?
We can.
Okay. So this week has been a fantastic week for me personally in my business, doing what it is that we teach you to do. And for those of you who have heard me a number of times before and have been to Probate Foundations and understand the philosophy and the approach that we teach for All the Leads on how to go out and pursue probate, pre-probate, as well as divorce leads, guys, this business is so much reliant on relationships. And that's why we start out with that as a focus in our Probate Foundations, in order to build out a team in order to help people get to where they want to go. So whether we're an agent or we're an investor, that's our role. They have plans, they have a view of where they want to go with the property. And our job is to connect with them, provide them the entire team and resources to be able to help them do what they already want to do. Okay. So, I mean, just some of the parts of my week being on fire, I've met with, probably 3 or 4 of what I call my solutions team members, and the energy that's been out there, and I'm big on energy as well. So as I'm networking and I'm building and I'm constantly being a walking, talking estate settlement strategist in my business, I'm meeting with downsizing consultants, folks that are buying out estates from personal property standpoint. They're referring me to other people because you do want to make sure that you have a number of resources. You want to have a deep bench. on your team, because some people aren't going to be able to perform as they're advertised at any given time. So you want to have a deep bench. And a lot of that is going to come through your connections, your building your team, and continuing to be a networking and attracting that help to you. We can go into that specifically for each of your business. If you'd like to schedule a monthly strategy coaching call with me, I'd be happy to help customize the approach based on where you are and where you want to get to in your business. But so I have people now chasing me in my business, wanting to be on my solutions team, because I'm walking, talking, telling everybody out there what it is that I do and how I help people overcome obstacles when they're settling in a state. So the team is coming to me. Many of the orientations that I have is, well, I just moved to a new market. I don't have these people in my network. I don't know what to do. How do I get started? Well, you get started by going to networking events. You can start your own networking event. There's many different ways to go out and do this. And if it is in your local market and you're looking to shape your business where you already do have an established past client base, and you have a sphere of influence, and you have referral partner relationships established already, start talking to them about how your focus in real estate has shifted to help people in going through these particular situations, and remind them it's just like marketing. We need to have multiple touches when we're cold prospecting or we're sending direct mail to the personal representatives. The same happens with your network. You need to continue reminding people and having conversations that will make you that much more effective when you're on the phone with your prospects. But so I've added probably 4 more people to the bench on my team, and I had 2 appointments with attorneys yesterday, one of which said, I have made a flipper over $1 million in the last 3 years based on the profits for all of the probate cases that I've sent to them. Or I basically said, hey, these folks need to sell fast for cash. What's your offer? That investor has made over $1 million in profits just in the last 2 to 3 years from the referrals from one attorney. And I talked to him and I'm like, okay, well, he's already got his guy, right? I should just hang my head in shame and walk away. No, here's the key. And it really comes from how you bring and how you establish that relationship, because he was looking for, when I presented myself to him and talked about how I approach the business and how I'm offering to bring him referrals to his attorney business, to his firm, he said, that's fantastic, Chuck, because even though I've made this guy $1 million, he's not once sent me a referral for any other wills, trusts, any of the other business. So the approach that we're taking, he's like, you're my guy. At this point, I'm kind of doing backflips, looking forward to, all right, looks like we've got a whole bunch more rehabs coming up, or at least looking at what are those options. I know on the coach's corner last night on Clubhouse, a lot of the conversation was about creative financing. And there's going to be ways that we're going to need to be able to adapt to the marketplace and what's working to help people. Again, that's really the foundation and the premise is what can we do to help people? And it's not only the personal representatives, it is our team members, it is an entire industry or universe of people that are focused on being able to help people in these particular situations. And that's the approach that we teach here at All the Leads, is how do you build your own universe of people that are in this focused area and going through these major life changes, and how can we help them get through it easier than doing it alone? So just recognize that not only are we on here every Thursday and we're answering your specific questions, we're out there doing this business and we're actively creating these relationships and bringing our experience to you. Just take the opportunity on a monthly basis. I'm thrilled. I love spending time with our subscribers on these coaching calls to be able to help build you into a rock star in your local market and be that go-to person. So you have your team set up and you're able to effectively carry this business out. Just know that we're here rooting for your success, and we're taking the steps forward to help you get there and be successful as well.
Man, you're on fire today, buddy.
I've
Yeah.
been on fire all week. I've probably hit that fire emoji about 75 times since Monday. I'm on a whole other plane this week, and I'm loving it. My energy's all cranked up. And I've had some of my solutions team said, dude, you need to cut back on the coffee because I can't keep up. So if you're on a coaching call with me tomorrow, I've got Friday morning coaching calls. Expect I'm bringing the fire. I'm bringing the energy. We're here to help you get things built up and get you rocking and rolling.
That's awesome, bud. That is just awesome. Good job.
Guys, the techniques that we give you work. Absolutely. They work. You just have to take the actions. You have to take the losses sometimes. You have to take the wins, but get through the process. Just know that this stuff works if you take action.
That's a good place to kind of jump off. And I think, I don't see any hands in the air just yet, and we'll let people kind of simmer a little bit here. We've got actually a very, very big crowd, probably the biggest one we've had in a very long time. And that's great. And that's exciting. And I know that we're beginning to, attendance is ramping up here for a lot of reasons. A lot of it is because we've had a lot of new folks join us lately, and that's great. And we're getting some additions through our Wednesday night efforts that we do on, and that's working out well for us too. You may or may not know that we do a clubhouse meeting on Wednesday night, and Ty Guerrera is also on that with us. Ty's an old buddy that is also similar to all of us in terms of his approach to what he does and how he does it. But I think that probably one of the things that maybe be a good place to jump off on, and Chuck touched on it, which is to work on what you're doing, do it consistently, and continue to execute just over and over and over. Nothing succeeds like success, they say. And I think the whole point about this is to do this and make it a part of your business that you just do, like getting up. Make it a habit. Make it your best work habit. Build this as a pillar. Bruce, you want to maybe jump off right there and talk a little bit about that? Can't hear you, bud.
I am muted. I'm off
There you
now.
go.
All right. So I actually, Tim, you said something a second ago about success. Success. What did you say?
Nothing succeeds like success.
Nothing succeeds like success. And I want to take a step back because that's a little bit of a confusing statement. But I want to tell you guys that success leaves clues. Success leaves clues. And there is no better way to build your own success than to watch the success that other people have had. And don't just sit there and be a spectator of other people's success. Identify the rituals that those people that are successful are incorporating into their life, and pursue those rituals with a passion. That's what you guys are going to need to do. You're looking for the clues that have led to success of others. So you hear about the conversations and the relationships and the business that Chuck's getting. You talk to me or hear a class that I've given, or you hear from Tim or Jim on their success, or any of you on here that are seeing success. Listen to the things, the key performance indicators that have led to that success, and incorporate those in your life, incorporate those in your business. If you don't have a solid set of rituals that you follow, you're not going to see success. A lot of times you say, oh, okay, the success is I have to go on 50 listing appointments. Well, you don't know the rituals that led to the 50 listing appointments. So yes, prepare yourself so that you're ready when you get a listing appointment, or you get an appointment to make an offer on a property. But it starts way before that. It starts with those small little details that successful people incorporate into their day. So success leaves clues, and it's your job to watch for those clues that other people have in their life. And don't just watch. Don't be a spectator. Take an action. Take an action. Now, our platform is quite simple, and I'm going to call on Sheila here in just a moment. Our platform is very simple, and I think Chuck coined this. Is you've got in your business, think of your business like a stool, and any stool that's going to stand has to have at least 3 legs. So we give you guys 3 legs to stand on. We actually give you a 4th, and Chuck was just touching on the 4th, but the first 3 legs are calls. So the first leg is you got to pick the phone up, you got to prospect. If you don't know how to prospect, you don't have time to prospect, you're scared of the phone, we have a relationship with an ISA company that can help you with the prospecting. You've got to get in front of people in their mailbox consistently. So that's leg number 2 of your stool. You've got to make sure that that people are hearing from you on more than just your voice on a voicemail. They need to see you, and you need to build your brand that way. Third is you need some credibility. If you're mailing, if you're leaving voicemails for people that might not be answering the phone right away, a lot of those folks may not rush to call you back. You leave a voicemail day 1, they get a letter month 1, month 2. They might not be ready to sell a house right now. So they may not rush and go, oh, thank God Chuck gave me another call. I can't wait to talk to this stranger. That's not what they're going to say. They're going to say, well, you know what? I'm not quite ready yet. Maybe I'll check him out for later. So you have to have credibility online. And I tell the story of running radio ads many years ago and not evaluating how credible I was online. And one day, after 4 months of radio ads, which is about the time that radio kind of starts to turn a profit, after 4 months, I got my very first call. By the way, this was not probate, but the principle applies. And the lady, when I answered the phone, she said, "It's about time you answered the phone. As a matter of fact, I don't even think I want to use you." She was very abrasive, and I was extremely confused. So number 1, you don't want to use me. Why call me to tell me you don't want to use me? And then number 2, I want to know why she has this attitude. So I said, what's been going on? She said, I've left you dozens of messages. I had not received dozens of messages. I said, what number are you calling? She gave me the number. It wasn't mine. I Googled it, and up pops a website for someone named Bruce Hill, Raleigh, North Carolina. And I was like, wait a minute, that's my name. I look at the middle initial, it's B. That's my middle initial. I look at the picture, that ain't me. It's not me. What I had failed to do is take account for my digital credibility and presence. So people do go check you out. And if you are not findable, and if you are not credible, and you aren't leading from education and contribution with your online presence, you will miss opportunities from people that are secret observers of yours from your letters and your phone calls. So that's the third leg of the stool, is make sure that you have a digital presence that speaks to probate and estate solutions. You could do that with videos on YouTube. You could do that with blogs. You could do that with credibility websites. We can provide you a credibility website if you do not have one. It's $40 a month, nothing, to have something really good online. So that's leg number 3 of the stool. Leg number 4 of the stool, and I'm totally stealing this from Chuck, so credit where credit's due. Leg number 4 is build those attorney relationships, and that's what Chuck was speaking to just a moment ago. Those relationships with your team and your attorneys are going to lead to a lot of success in your business. But you got to start with the calls, the mail, the credibility content online for those people that observe you from a distance before they actually take advantage of your offer.
Bruce,
In many cases, they won't take advantage of your offer if they can't find you online.
I'll jump on your not looking about what you're dealing with digitally. If you recall last night on Clubhouse, one of the people that came on there said, he was talking about, he'd looked at our profiles, and he pointed out, he said, I haven't seen anything on your profile, Tim. And he's right. I hadn't taken the time to fill it out. And people do look. They want to get a feeling for who they're talking to. And any place that you can make that easier for them to do, they have a clue about what you're doing. And it is vitally important to do that. We're in an information society, and you got to take advantage of that. Bruce pointed out about the credibility website. We literally have hundreds of folks who use us to provide their real estate credibility website, and we do a really good job with that. We give you a lot of great content to start with. We personalize it for you so that it looks like you. It is you. It's your colors, your logos, and your words. We give you some gut content for it, which are the basics of the business and what probate's all about, and kind of while you're good at it, we help you write it. And if you need help putting it together, we'll help you do that as well. But it is absolutely yours. They're all different. They're all unique, and we do a great job with it. We've been doing it for better part of 10 years, actually. And literally, we have hundreds of them online. People must like them and get a good reaction to them because they continue to enjoy them every month. The other thing that we've added to them recently is we've added a facility so that you can use it to talk about offering cash advances to people in probate, which becomes a very important issue to a lot of people that are in probate. We talked a bit about that last night as well, and we frequently talk about that on here, but I don't want to drive us off too far into that one, but just want to point that out. Your digital profile is very, very important, and you need to be dealing with that. And also, one last thing, do your Google local. Make sure that when somebody looks at you on Google, that you've done that. That's a very simple thing to do. It's literally kind of filling out a few questions and answers about who you are, what you do, and all that. And you can give yourself some ratings and a lot of things that you need to go do so that when people look you up, it's important. And there are people out there, companies out there, Rating Defender is one of them, which, they'll help you take care of people who falsely low rate you on things. It's never going to be possible if you make everybody happy all the time. And, you're going to find somebody who you listed their house and you didn't get it sold. And so you're a horrible person and didn't do a great job, notwithstanding the fact that they kept it looking bad the whole time you were trying to show it and insisted that you price it out of the marketplace. But you really do need to look into that. So your digital presence is very important. And if you haven't looked at the websites we offer, please, take a look at them and talk to your marketing implementation specialist about it. And we'll be happy to work with you on that.
Love it, Tim.
I mean, just to kind of build off of that, though, Tim, in my conversations with folks that are buying estates, either they've owned consignment shops, they've been doing this for 25 years. The husband has been an antique dealer for 35 years, and we need to leverage these folks because dealing with personal property of value that are left in the estates, people want to make sure that they can add that benefit to their inheritance and not just give it away at an estate sale or an auction or those types of things. So being able to provide the personal representative and the families that are looking to settle the estate with that value and those different options are incredibly important. Now, we do have what happened in 2020, and now we're kind of in that post-C environment where some of the behaviors have changed, not only for many of us that are, attorneys are having more Zoom calls with families instead of families coming in and meeting as a group inside the law firms. They're also looking for that cash up front for the personal property. And at least what's trending in my particular region is people are looking for cashing out the entire state. Here, just take it all away. Give us one lump sum. We want our cash up front, and they don't want to go through consignment and those types of things. So getting a pulse of what the market dynamics look like in your local market is extremely important by building these particular relationships. Now, on the cash advance for the inheritance, I brought that up in one of my attorney meetings yesterday. He's like, "You can do that?" I said, "Yeah, absolutely." He's like, "How?" I'm like, "Well, we have connections. Our solutions team includes folks even at a hedge fund that are looking to be able to help people with this. I don't have all the details, but definitely, if you have people that are interested in getting that cash advance, give me a call. We provide solutions all the way up and down through the spectrum as they're going through settling the estate, and bringing value lights these attorneys up because it gives them a unique selling proposition to their clients as well. It's their 5-star reviews. It's, the attorney I'm meeting with has 112 5-star reviews on Google. I mean, he's out there rocking, and he's a very great heart-centered individual, and connecting to people that have this good energy out in the marketplace is how you build a super powerful team. So that's part of the reason why I'm on fire, because it's not only the fact of the matter, but it's also the people that I'm working with and how we have that same intent.
Excellent.
it.
Hey,
All
I
right.
know we've got somebody that has their hand in the air, and we've got several questions that have come in from Victoria, which we'll get to in a minute, but why don't we talk to Sheila, who's been waiting patiently there.
Sheila, go ahead and unmute yourself. Guys, if our Zoom screen is changing around and people are getting larger and smaller on the screen for you, it's because I'm playing around with pinning those that are talking. So
I think
don't
it's
want to
just,
confuse
but it
anyone.
doesn't change us. It's not changing ours.
No? Oh, only mine? That's
Nope.
a shame. All right.
Well,
Sheila,
I have a
what do you
success story to share.
Yeah.
And I have been doing this for probably well over a year. First time it ever happened, first call on a probate lead, and I set an appointment. My boss went out to the appointment because I'm an ISA. And we are doing photographs and videography next week. It was just his parents had owned the house for years. They were married for 67 years. The mother died 4 months ago. The father died 2 months after. And of course I said, well, I guess he just couldn't live without her. And then of course, that just opened up a whole, and the main thing with these probate leads is listening. Shutting up and listening to what they have to say and just like peeling back that up and then the onion, just what else can you tell me? And just I was on the phone with him for 45 minutes, which is 45 minutes well spent, and we got the listing. So that's my success story.
That's
Awesome.
fantastic. What kind of things did you guys during that 45 minutes? What kind of things were you talking about?
Well, of course, we talked about the house. He told me that it was completely filled with all kinds of stuff. And I said, well, we've got people on our team that can help you get that cleared out. And of course, we referred him to a fellow that we work with, and he was right on it and called him and got it all set up. And we talked about his family because they were New York Italian, and I lived in New York. Paul's from New York. My boss is from New York. So just listening to them and just getting family is very important. And I just listened to, did he have any brothers or sisters that this was part of? And no, it was just him by himself, which is unusual. But I just listened to everything he had to say and got all the information and set the appointment for the next day. And my boss went out and they hit it off, and the rest is, hopefully the house will sell quickly because he doesn't want a lot for it. So
Is he local or out of town?
no, he lives right here in about 5 miles from where the house is.
Great.
Yep.
And do you, this is part of, you do this regularly, these calls?
I set aside 8 hours a week for probate. The rest is for FSBOs, expireds, agent recruitment, and Google reviews too. We've got 140 5-star, 138 5-star reviews. So I try to get those from past clients as well. So I got a lot on my plate, but I do concentrate. And my opener is, hi, my name's Sheila Fasenko. I'm a probate solutions expert and an advocate for families in our area that are dealing with the loss of a loved one. Got your number from the local probate office, and I want you to know I realize it's a difficult time for you and your family. You probably have an attorney by now, but did you have any questions that you hadn't had a chance to ask your lawyer yet?
Wow, that's awesome. That's a great lead.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. So, Sheila, you said something that I'm just dying to expand on a little bit ago with the wife passing away and the husband passing a couple of months later, and you said something along the lines of, it sounds like he couldn't live without her. Is that
Yeah,
that
that's
right?
what I said.
Okay. So This is bleeding a couple of different techniques together, but there are multiple different techniques that we use when we're prospecting, and these two techniques kind of cross lines a little bit. So number one would be what Chris Voss would call a label, what I would often call a reframe. So it's an "it sounds like" statement that comes after an objection. So I don't need anything. It sounds like you have everything covered right now. Okay, that would be just an example of how you label or reframe the objection. But Sheila used it a slightly different way, and it's a way that I would call an empathic statement. And Sheila, your empathy that comes through with your opening is unbelievably awesome. I could feel the empathy with that open, and more people would do very well to emulate the tone of voice and the pace of speech that you use. It was amazing. And if you didn't get it, this call is going to be live that you can go back and listen to, if that's okay, Sheila.
That's okay.
Now, an empathic statement is very similar to that label. It comes after a statement that someone makes, or something that someone says, and it doesn't have to be an objection, but it's also an "it sounds like" statement. So it sounds like, or I feel that, I take it that, it's my understanding that blank, and then you say what you believe to be the truth about their situation.
Right.
It sounds like he couldn't live without her. Okay, that'll often get someone to open up. Yeah, that's right. He was blah, 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 and they open up.
Mhm.
Or it sounds like you have a bunch of family members that all have a say. Oh yeah, da, 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 da. Sometimes they correct you on your empathic statement, your empathy statement, and that's okay. So it's okay to occasionally get your statement wrong, because it will cause them to give you feedback and an adjustment to what you've said. But I really thought that you did an amazing job with that empathy statement, Sheila. It sounds like he just couldn't live without her.
Yeah.
Great job. Great job.
Thanks.
All right. Anything else, Sheila?
Oh, and I had another call this week. I've been trying to reach this lady for months, and I finally got her husband on the phone, and she was chirping in behind him. And then she finally took the phone from him, and then she started telling me how her lawyer was not responding to her, and she has to send emails to her in order to get. I said, "Well, did you receive your oh God, my mind is a blank now. Your letters of administration?" She said, "Well, I did get a letter from the lawyer. Let me open it up." It was dated August. And she's reading the letter to me, and it sounded like to me, she said, "You have full authority to sell the house, provide this letter to your realtor, blah, blah, blah." I said, I have a feeling I know what that letter is, but I know somebody who will know for sure. If you're available, maybe one day next week, I could have my broker go and meet you at the house if you can bring that letter with you. She said, "Oh, really? Would he?" And so, and then I said, "Well, what's your email address? I'll confirm it and make sure you get my information." And then she confirmed it. I said, "You unsubscribed to my emails back in June," and she just started laughing. But I sent it through another means. So yeah, we have another probate coming up next week. Another
Awesome.
probate.
Awesome.
But yeah, things are. It just you have to be empathetic, but you also have to listen. If that people will know right away if you're fake. They'll know.
True. Good stuff, Sheila. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Right now, you are up for win of the week. By the way, guys, if somebody else has a win, please share. Whoever has the best win of the week does qualify for free or discounted. Let me say discounted leads on the upcoming month. So if you guys have a win or an idea, and honestly, Sheila kind of has both. an idea that other people can use to benefit their businesses. Both of those qualify for discount on the next month of leads. So
Be a dual winner
please
this week.
share. Say again, Tim?
Said she could possibly be a dual winner this week.
Yeah, she could, if somebody else doesn't beat her on one of those two. All
Yep.
right. Now, I know that there are some other questions. Tim, Larry's question came in first, I believe, and this was chatted in online. So it basically just asked me if I could speak to the pros and cons of leaving messages for the personal representatives. What kind of timing you should leave your messages on, how many messages you should leave, and then best practices on the number of times that you call your list. Now, the earlier that list is, the more frequent I'm going to call them if I have the bandwidth to do it. So I get a list this month. If I could call them 4 or 5 times this month, I'm going to do it. Not everybody has the bandwidth for that. At a minimum, you guys want to be calling your list once a month for at least 5 or 6 months. That's a minimum. If you are able to get through your list more often than that in the beginning, do it. Once you've gotten through that first month and a half, I would say that every 3rd, 4th, 5th week is perfectly fine. You don't want to completely alienate them, someone that's kind of ignoring you for the time being. So I say every month after that first month, and if you can do it more often than that in the beginning, do it. Voice messages. In general, what you guys have to realize is that every lead that you get has their own buying formula. Every single one of us has a different buying formula. And we don't know what people's buying formula is. So what we want to do is we want to come up with an approach that matches a lot of people, but it might not match everyone. And then change your approach a little bit with different people as they or if they do not respond to you. So general approach that I'll typically take on the phones is I don't leave a message the first time, especially if I'm going to call back in a couple of days. If I'm not going to call back for a month, I'm absolutely leaving a message on that first call. But if I'm able to call back in a few days, if they don't answer, I'm not going to leave a message on the first go. The second call, if they haven't answered, I'm going to leave a message. All right. And that message is usually going to be short and sweet, leave lots of room for curiosity. They're not going to know what it's about. Hey, this is Bruce Hill. If you could give me a call at I just wanted to catch up. Okay. Something like that. Just really short and sweet, leave room for curiosity. If they have not called you back, that's that next message. So maybe the 3rd or 4th call, I want you guys to go into a little bit more detail. All right, so you're going to go into detail. I'm calling about the estate of John Smith. All right, put more empathy into it. I'm just kind of going through the words. I was calling about the estate of John Smith. I don't know if this is for you, but I have a probate solution that helps with things like real estate needs, personal property clean out and estate sales, or even standard maintenance if there's a property inherited. Could you give me a call back at this number? Even if this doesn't fit to you, just give me a call and let me know. So by the time I get to that second voice message, I am going to start going into more detail. Theoretically, they are getting your letters that say the same thing. So your voicemail at that point becomes an extension of your marketing by the time you've gotten to the 2nd or 3rd voicemail. Over time, I'm probably going to leave maybe 3-4 voicemails over the course of 6 months. If you guys want to leave 10 voicemails in 6 months, be my guest. I have no problem with it. So just remember, if you're going to call anyone that you've missed, if you're going to call them back in a couple of days, no need to leave a voicemail on call number 1. If you can't give them a call back for a month, you might as well leave a voicemail every single time. All right, that's my approach. Is that perfect for every single prospect that you're going to call? No, it's not perfect for every prospect that you could call. It's really good for a bulk of them. So if you have gotten into a couple of months without return calls or without correspondence with certain leads, think about changing that approach up. Maybe think about driving over to the house. Maybe think about mailing if they haven't responded to certain letters in your sequence, think about doing a one-off mailing to the decedent's address in the off chance that somebody's checking that mailbox. Okay. So there's a lot of different things that you could do as you determine if these common practices and standard practices may not be working on that particular lead. Right. And I believe that there were some other questions. Hopefully that helped, Larry. I appreciate the great question. I think there were some other questions that I'm not seeing. So Tim, if you have another written question before we go to Paul and Obed.
Yeah, I do real quick. And Victoria, if you'd like to raise your hand, I'd like to ask you a couple of questions along with this, if you'd be willing to chat with us. So I'm gonna, if you're there, I see you're noodling around there.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. Can you hear us?
I can. Do you hear me? Do you see me now? Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So you'd asked several questions, so I thought I'd give you the opportunity to I'll answer one of them to start with, which is you ask about divorce leads. Have we started doing that yet? And the answer is yes, we have. Just contact your account rep and we'll be happy to talk with you about that and see if they're available in your county and if there's a seat available for them in your county. As you know, we try not to oversell, so I want to make sure that I don't misset your expectations, but you'll call your rep and we'll have somebody reach out to you actually after the call and let you know what we're doing here. You asked about a list of people on the support team or on the solutions team. Do you mean who do we put together in that? What kinds of companies? Is that your question?
Yeah, I mean, I got an idea, obviously, but I think it was Chuck that said his solutions team. He mentioned it last night. As a matter of fact, we had a coaching call last night, and I didn't hear that. So I want to maybe find out if there's some kind of somebody's got a written list of something of different people to think about. I just moved to Fort Lauderdale September 1st. Don't know a soul. I mean, I know a girlfriend. She's got 3 realtor friends. Didn't do me a lot of good there. But regardless, I had all the contacts in New York. I don't have an attorney down here. I don't have anything down here. So I have to develop all that. And I'm starting to try to think about putting it all together.
Me.
Ah, good.
Victoria, I moved 7.5 years ago to a new city, having done over 200 deals a year in my former city. And I moved like an idiot. I'm not calling you an idiot. I'm calling myself an idiot. And then you modeled what I did. I moved into a city where I didn't know anybody.
Right.
And I had no team. And in the first year, I was able to do like 43 transactions. So it can be done. It was heavily geared on probate, not exclusively, but very heavily centered around probate. So I'm going to give you a list of categories of vendors that you're going to need on your team.
Fabulous.
So,
just what I'm looking for.
Categories, and you guys expand on this. This is in foundations, by the way. Anyone that hasn't taken foundations needs to take my foundations class. It's the first Wednesday of every month, and you can register on the All the Leads site, so alltheleads.com. Even if you're not a subscriber, you can take probate foundations. It's a 2-hour class, 2:00 Eastern time on the first Wednesday of every single month. So little teaser for that is the first person that you probably ought to go hunt down would be a concierge. So this is sort of a to-do list person. Anything that you promise that you can't personally fulfill when you get busy. And let me tell you guys, if you are promising things to your prospects that are easy for you to fulfill, your promise is not big enough. All right. If you're claiming that you can do things that you can personally fulfill while you have business, your claim isn't big enough. You're going to be claiming the same thing that every other competitor is. So you need to make some claims that are a stretch for you that you need support to fulfill. So,
But Bruce, that's scary.
That's scary. Your USP is not strong enough if it does not scare you a little bit or a lot. A little bit or a lot. My USP used to say, hey, I'll sell your house in X number of days for full price, or I'll sell it for free. I won't charge a commission. Do you think that scared me? Absolutely. I rarely had to waive my commission on something, and I had some terms that would help me fulfill it. Okay. So think about your USP, and if it doesn't scare you, or if it's something that you can easily fulfill on your own and maintain other business, it's not strong enough. So concierge would be the first person that I'd get onto my team, someone that can help me fulfill promises that I've made. This is the person that meets the landscapers, meets the moving crews. They're there to kind of take care of my to-dos. Number two is you need a suite of contractors. So just write contractors, plural. Get yourself any and every contractor onto your list and make sure your bench is full. Again, I'm stealing from Chuck. Not just one of each profession, a couple. A handyman. Handyman kind of fits under contractors, but I put them separate. They usually don't have a license. They're more cheaper labor that can do a lot of different things. So handyman, landscaper would be 4. Estate sale company would be 5. Clean out crew would be 6. And last is a category, and you're going to need multiple people in this category. And these are going to be your white collar professionals, of which we are one. All right. If you're an investor or real estate agent, you are one of the white collar professionals. The white collar professionals are going to be your PNC insurance agents, your financial advisors, your attorneys, and you. Okay. So those are the categories to think about. Now, you guys flesh your list out. You could end up with 100 people on your list, but I guarantee all 100 of them are going to fit under one of these 7 different categories I just gave you.
And a lot of times that last group that Bruce talked about encompasses a lot of folks. It can be also the healthcare providers, the assisted living facility administrators, all those kinds of people. What's got to realize is that you're not just going to be starting off with, notices of probate. A lot of this is if you make probate a pillar of your business, and we say that word over and over again, and we operate our company that way. We operate our company in pillars, and each department is a pillar. And if probate is a pillar of your business, then you're going to want to be known to be the probate gal or guy in your marketplace and the go-to person that people think about. I don't know if you live in a market where Morgan and Morgan, the attorneys are there, but if not, you probably have a dominant attorney in your marketplace that's advertising all over media there and, does nothing but that. They're always top of mind, and that's what you're trying to do. You want to be that top of mind person. So you got to spread it out and constantly be building that team. That team's not a static team. That's a team that should always be growing. You've always got room for more people, and you want people to be vying to be your estate sale company or your clean out crew or your contractor. They're going to hear about you. They should know about it. You're going to, Bruce pointed out, you're doing a couple hundred transactions a year, and we have people on this call that I know, because I see familiar faces here, that are doing lots and lots of deals every month. And every deal, you've got to have a team of people ready to go get this done. Otherwise, you're going to get bogged down. You're going to get great opportunities, but you'll end up with what they refer to as hanger queens in the airplane industry. They never go anywhere. They look real pretty, but they don't get done. So you need lots of people to move that.
Yep.
The other one, I would say that you're missing one, Bruce, and we need to update probate foundations, because many of these types of steps in order to clean out an estate can be applied to seniors that are transitioning into assisted or retirement community living, as well as folks that are downsizing. I've seen a trend here in our local market of people that are selling their house and they're moving into an ADU type facility with their adult children, so they can be closer to the grandkids. They can help participate in, childcare and those types of things, because people are looking to bring the family unit a little bit closer together. And we just had a listing that we had both sides on at the end of August. That exact scenario. So you having a design or a downsizing consultant, someone that offers downsizing services. What's really helped me significantly is finding another person that's focused on that, dealing with the personal property aspect of this life change for people, and has a number of those those other contacts. They know the coin guy, the train guy, the gun guy. They've got all of the experts that can really maximize the inheritance for an estate that's looking to liquidate. And they have those consignment shops and the folks that are going to be buying out entire estates. So leverage your activity to make sure that you're focused on who is the doorway to an entire network of folks that will be able to really help you fulfill your big, hairy, scary USP. So just step out in faith that these folks are there and they're available for you, and they are looking to help you grow and build your business because you're doing the hard work, which is initiating the contact, having those conversations. It's a gravy train for them when you're able to send them the business but still being in control. Another acronym I learned yesterday was be the hub, be the highly utilized business, to where you're able to connect a lot of folks together and ultimately get them from where they are to where they want to be.
Awesome. All right, guys. This call has flown. I figured it was 1:30 Eastern time, so
Right.
I figured we were on the 30-minute mark. But we are on the 53-minute mark, so we got to go pretty quick. Let me go to Paul. Paul, if you'd unmute yourself, what do you got, man?
Sure. I just wanted to share a quick win and also a tip that's been working for me.
Awesome. Sheila's got some competition. Let's go.
Probably not as exciting as hers. I've been pounding away at these probate leads for the last 6 months. Just took my first listing. So it kind of falls right in line with what you've been saying, 6 months, and it's going to start turning around. So
yep,
I'm really excited to see some success. I was getting a little bit defeated, you know.
Okay.
So this started getting me really excited. And then the tip is we started doing some texting as well. So calls, your letters, calls, and texts, and the texts are getting phenomenal response rate.
Outstanding. Amazing.
I'm getting 30% response rate on the texts.
Woohoo. Wow. Calls a lot of times get maybe 8 to 12%. 10, 15 is really the ratio, but depending on a market, 8 to 12 is reasonable. To 30%, that's insane.
Yeah, and then I've been sharing that with my probate mastermind, and they're setting appointments on the first try. So it's just an extra tool that we're adding, extra contact. You know, you're talking about voicemails, text messages, just trying to hit them every way of communication, and seeing how people respond.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So for those 1 to 2 voice messages that you're leaving each and every month, just follow it up with a text. Say, hey, this is Chuck with Estate Solutions, and I just left you a message. I just want to make sure that you got it. You know, that type of thing. And people will respond to that text message. Absolutely. I mean, go back a couple of episodes. We had Christian on for quite a while, and he had 4 wholesale deals closing in 1 month because he's also been able to leverage the power of texting.
Yep. I don't know if we want to ask this or not. What's your text say? If you don't share it, that's fine.
Yeah, I'd be happy to share it. I mean, it's pretty much parroting what those letters are saying in a condensed form. So I have it here. I'll read it to you. For some reason, it's not letting me paste it into the chat. Oh, it's actually going to Tim. Should I just paste it in the chat there too?
Yeah, just send it and I'll make sure it goes to everybody.
Perfect.
Sure.
Thanks, Paul.
Read it to us. Go ahead and read it.
So hi name. This is blank with local real estate agent from blank, specializing in probate and estate sales. I'm reaching out regarding the estate of blank. Our head researcher at the blank county courthouse informed me that you are the personal representative of the estate, and I was wondering if there's any real estate that needs to be sold in order to settle the estate. And then the second part of it says, I can help with all aspects of getting the home ready for sale, including valuations, junk removal, repair, upkeep, etc. If you're looking for a quick listing and selling it for top dollar, and if you're looking for a quick, no hassle sale, I have investors lined up that can buy it off you as well. Would you need help with any of these?
Great. Thanks,
Paul, schedule a strategy call because I want to work with you on that because I think we can get that 30% up a bit higher.
All right. Sure. I'll do that, Chuck.
Good stuff. Paul, thank you so much. And I was gonna say give some commentary on that. I may think of it. If I think of it and I have to put it in another call, we'll do it. Let's go to Obed. How's it going, man?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
How you doing? So I started wholesaling probably about 3 months ago,
Mhm.
and I picked up probates. So I got my first lead with the probates, and so I spoke to the representative, and she said that that she's been waiting for the title to be transferred from from the original title holder, her father, to all of her siblings, so her and 4 other people. So I tried to calling her attorney, the one that I guess like there's like an attorney that handles their case. So I tried calling him like to see what was the holdup, and that sort of stuff. Like, would there be any way that I could see, like, because she said she's been dealing with that for a while. Having her attorney hasn't given her a response, like if as far as like from the title being transferred. So I was trying to see if there would be any way to find out, because she said she was trying to sell the home before the beginning of the year.
So number one is you want to secure an appointment, get face-to-face with her as quickly as possible and the family as quickly as possible, even if they are not in a position to be able to sell. I would say, hey, I know you can't sell until you get title transferred. Why don't we meet over at the house and at least I can get an offer in front of you. That way you've got something to go to your attorney with. Okay.
Right.
The attorney may be dragging their feet. They may be doing it improperly. It depends on the state. Normally, title to real estate doesn't transfer officially until probate ends. That's normally. Different states are different. I'm in a state that title transfers directly to the owners right away. It transfers outside of probate. So you could be in one of those states. But be aware that when you're calling the attorney is going to be anything that you do with regard to that estate is going to be billable to the estate. So one reason maybe that they're not calling you back, it could be because they're a bad attorney and don't communicate. It could also be because because you don't have like direct permission to communicate on behalf of the estate or the heirs. And if you do, that 15-30 minutes that you're going to take with the attorney is going to get billed to the heirs. So make sure that you're not causing any heirs an unnecessary bill without their permission. And if they give permission, then they should communicate with the attorney. The attorney is allowed to talk to you. And then that way there's no confusion. The attorney has no problem communicating with you. But I would still get face-to-face, even if they're waiting, and be able to put an offer together. Just recognize that they're not necessarily going to be able to act on that offer until title is transferred, unless the attorney's going about this all wrong. It does sound like an unusual situation, though.
Right. So I'm doing virtual. I'm in a different state. The state is it's in Texas, and I don't live in Texas, so I'm doing virtual wholesaling.
Mhm.
So I spoke twice on the phone with her. I got all the information as far as like what's wrong with it, any repairs, that sort of stuff.
Mhm.
So I spoke with her last week and the week before that. I'm going to call her after this meeting. I'm going to follow up with her, just so we could get the, negotiating the price now, because I already called her twice. So I'm trying to at least get a like, what's your price range? What do you feel comfortable with? I know there's 4 people involved, that sort of stuff. So my only issue is just the title being transferred to her and all her siblings. That's my only issue. Like she's ready to go and everything. It's just the only thing that's holding everything up is just the attorney. Well, not the attorney, but just the title transferring.
Yep. Okay. I would get permission to communicate with the attorney and have her send that permission in writing to you and the attorney. That way the attorney will, should, unless they're a horrible attorney or overworked, they should take your call at that point.
Right. Okay.
Okay. All right. So I want to speak. I remembered what I was going to say to Paul. He said that he'd hit 6 months and got his first piece of business. Here's KPIs stand for key performance indicators. And a lot of times we get so focused on the end result. So what's your goal? And obviously we know that everybody's goal is getting a deal. That's everybody's goal. And beyond that, everybody's goal is to make money, but you shrink your ultimate goal. Hey, make money. You shrink it back to a goal that needs to be achieved to make money. So if you're going to make money, you have to have closings. If you're going to have closings, you have to have listings. If you're going to have listings, you have to have a pipeline. If you have to have a pipeline, you have to have conversations. If you have to have conversations, you need to pick the phone up and call. Okay. So you guys boil it back to that core, most important piece, KPI in your business. And I would argue that the most important KPI in your business is a full pipeline. If you get to the end of 6 months and you don't have anyone in the pipeline that you know is going to sell a house, something's wrong. If you get to the end of 6 months and you have 30 people in your pipeline that you know are going to sell a house, and I see David Pinnell on here, he's always got a crazy full pipeline. That's what he counts as success. If you are working in probate, you need to make the pipeline your goal. Find out who has an intention of selling. All right. And that will lead to your ultimate closings. So you're going to get your closings out of a pipeline. And that should be the goal that all of us are striving toward, because it does take people time to get ready to sell a house. So push the pipeline above the closings. The pipeline will absolutely lead to closings.
You want to hear the numbers?
Yeah. Hit us with the numbers fast. We're 4 minutes over.
Yeah, no, it's so we got 27 and we get prime status is that we've met them. We've made them an offer in person, and we're probably looking to do something the next 30 days. We have 27 in that pipeline, and then we have 147 inactive. So they've reached out at some point during the letter or phone call. We talked to them. Good conversation. So it's 192 people on our radar, but we'll probably only get 20% of that. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, only 20% out of 197. What would 40 extra deals do for you guys? What would 40 extra closings do for you guys? Now you're going to need to put 200 people in your pipeline, and that's going to take a little bit of effort, but that's 40 closings.
And it's really not 40 closings if you are investing and wholesaling a little bit more than being a realtor. If you are open to that side of the business, I've done 31 transactions this year. It's not like in 2019 where I was trying to push it over. I did 122. 31 transactions has done really well for us. Mm-hmm. So it's the type of transactions that this type of pipeline offers.
Yep. Pipeline, guys, push the pipeline. You don't have to push the closings. The closings will come. Grow that pipeline by having conversations and identifying where you have an opportunity, whether that opportunity is going to be a deal tomorrow or a deal in 8 months. Just find the opportunity and then nurture it.
And I would say that pipeline is going to be driven by conversations.
Yes.
And it doesn't always have to be conversations with the PR. Those are definitely priority number one. We want to be speaking with the person who's basically in the role of owner on record, right? We want to be speaking with a decision maker. But in order to fill the pipeline, be a walking, talking probate expert, solutions provider, whatever you want to call yourself. Find something that sticks out and piques curiosity with folks, but be talking with everybody. I like to say there's only two types of people to talk to, and that's either men or women.
Awesome. All right.
We'll leave that where that is.
Yeah.
And honestly, when you're prospecting, you never know who you're going to meet. So that's what I enjoy the most when I think about the pain of it. I hate prospecting. I really do. I hate getting up in the morning and have 2 cups of coffee. I got to get in the mood. I don't know who I'm going to talk to. I'm going to get yelled at. But it's always 1 or 2 conversations that make it worth it for that 2-hour period. And then, and during the Zoom call, I had to get off of it to take a phone call from a lady that I talked to in May. And I wish I could play the recording for you, but I'm going to meet her right now to do a contract with her. And it was
Fantastic.
it was in May when we met. So it's like October now. And I just asked her what was she willing to take. And I explained to her she says she's getting 15 calls a day. I was like, are they making the offers? She says, no. I was like, I'll make you an offer today. When can we meet? So,
Yep.
Ta-da.
Well, this has been a really great call, and believe it or not, this has been a probably one of our record attendance in a while, probably the most we've had in a good long time, and great participation, great information, good sharing and all that. Good to see you, David, and all the other folks that raised their hand and talked with us today. We love doing these. We love doing them for you, and it's all about you guys. And certainly if you're on the West Coast and it's a little challenging for you to get here, we invite you to join the Real Estate Coaches Corner on Clubhouse. You don't get to necessarily see our smiling faces, but we're there. We do that every Wednesday, and that is 8 o'clock your time. I think that's right. Is that right, Bruce?
Yep.
8 o'clock our time.
Yep. 8 o'clock Eastern time.
5 o'clock
Pacific.
California time. So love to see you there. We appreciate you guys being here. Do you guys any parting words? I'm going to take a whack at, or do you want to take a whack at Jim's sign off, Bruce? You do better.
I have no idea what Jim's sign off is.
Well, the memory
Take
of
one
Jim-
thing you learned on today's call and put it into action. We appreciate everybody. Have a great, profitable week, and we'll see you next time.
Right on. Good job. Good job. Have a great week, guys.